Welcome to part 2 of my how to mod brutal nature tutorial. Last time we modded the skybox. Today we want to remove the animals, the plant life, and well, start to create a map. Let's start off with the easy stuff first, and that will be to remove the animals. We have to go into the data folder, go into the shared folder, and the folder with the NPCs actually holds all the data. You can see the four standard animals that there are, and the npcs.as script file actually contains the definitions for them. Let's check out line number 2. It gives us an NPC counter, meaning that the game renders 50 NPCs on the standard map. We can change that to 0. And apparently there's also a value for NPCs in tunnels below the surface. Well, we're also going to switch that to 0. And that should be it. Alright, now let's check out the plant life. That we should probably find in tree, probably. Alright, let's see. All right, let's take a look at the code right here. I haven't checked out this file before. We have apparently a function that sets up the flora. Rocks is okay. We need rocks, but bushes, trees, big trees, berries, and mushrooms are not. I want those gone. I'm not quite sure if this desired object count is actually the real equivalent to the amount of objects we see in the game. I don't believe there are 3,000 bushes on the island. I haven't counted them either, so... But still, that seems a bit high. Also, 1,000 trees? No. No, not by a long shot. Maybe like 200, 300, but not 1,000. I don't think so. Anyway, let's just try to set it to 0. And then we're going to check out the game. It's connected. Okay, last time I actually changed the view ranges. If I increase that back to like 500, 600, trees and bushes should pop back in, and they are still there, as you can see here. Alright, so that didn't do anything. But I also rotated the earth a bit, so now it should look more natural than last time. But I don't see any animals, so at least that worked out. Yep, no NPCs here. Alright. And every time we change the script, we actually have to restart the server so that the changes are actually being used. So, back into the script. Yeah, was a shot in the dark. Alright, now we have the definitions for each of the plants. Let's see. I'm pretty sure at the end of the script there is actually a formula that calculates how many of this stuff is actually being spawned. Now look at here. Set up flora. Spawn trees for new world is the function that is being called here. Then spawn trees. So add periodic script is apparently a script that is being called every 10 seconds, I guess, to spawn new trees in case some have been removed by the player. Save trees, load trees. Alright, I'm just going to comment out everything and see if it does anything. Yeah, those are the functions that are being called here, but if I comment them out, then they're not even going to be used. This will also increase the game's performance a bit. Whoops. Oh, wait a second. That was an error message. So apparently there is an error in the script file. Whoops. Line 389. So apparently this is the stuff that I commented out. Could it be that I didn't use the correct way to comment this stuff out? Well, it worked now. So apparently I didn't use the correct characters for commenting out this stuff. So and what do we see? Trees. Oh damn. Okay, it's a little bit more complicated than I had anticipated. Maybe I should actually comment out the first script too. Just an attempt. I'm pretty lazy here. Usually I would actually have to dig into the code and read it and understand it, but I don't care right now. Come on. It always takes a while until the server actually closes. Could not connect an answer. Okay. So I have to close it again, and now I can reconnect. Alright, now it worked. Okay. Still there. Then it looks like I do have to read all the script and understand it, and I don't like that. But okay. So up here we have the classes explained. Category name, it's kind of self-explanatory, and here's the desired object count. Well, that is actually what we already set to 0. This is not important. Hmm. All right. The spawn trees function is actually quite easy. It actually sets a counter variable called array count to the amount of objects that are supposed to be spawned. Apparently, it also writes into the log file. So there's also a function included to write something into the log file so that we know what is going on. Then it starts a for loop starting with 0, setting the variable x, which is the counter variable, to an amount lower than the array count that we defined here as the size of the amount of objects that we want, and then it's just being incremented by 1 for each loop. That is easy enough. I could actually there are many ways to actually get rid of this. I could, for example, just comment out this, which apparently is the function that spawns the tree, which is being called every time when it goes through the loop here. But then again, I'm pretty sure I screwed up here. Pretty sure. Now this should work, because this is just the function spawn trees for new world, which is being called here. So if I comment out this function, then this is not even going to be processed. Ideally, of course, I could comment this out, but that would still mean that this function would be working several thousand times per probably, not per second, but still it would work in the background, and we don't want that, because the result would be 0. It wouldn't do anything. So why would we want to have why would we want to run the function? But still, it doesn't really make much sense. Oh, I think I know what the problem is here. All right, I just found out the problem. The problem is that we have to recalculate the map. Let's check out the folder. Let's go to the private folder. This contains the map data. This is the map itself. It's about 29 megabytes. This is a backup of the map, which is automatically created. This holds the player data. So whenever somebody logs in at the server, it's being stored here. And of course, this is the backup of that. And this map probably also holds all the trees and bushes that we saw, because those are probably generated with the map. So the only thing that we can do right now is to get rid of this. When we restart the server was still running. If I close the server now, it will write new map data. Ta-da! You see? The backups are not here because they're created from the old DAT files. So I have to delete this again. And then the server is actually going to use these bitmap files to generate a new map. Those we will edit later on. All right. If I start the server, it will start calculating the new map, but this will take some time and we want to speed it up. So let's check out server config to tweak a few of the settings here. First of all, we scroll down at the very bottom. Here's the cave node count, telling you how many cave nodes there will be. I don't want any tunnels in this map, because tunnel generation takes the most time when generating a new map. Not just that, also NPC generation takes a lot of time. So when you're creating a map, disable tunnel generation and disable the NPCs This way, your map will be generated within seconds, maybe only minutes. If you do not have that, it could take hours. I had maps that took like 5 hours to generate, only to see that I totally screwed up. And you don't want that to use. So you can, later on, if you have your map, you can always tweak these settings and calculate a new map with tunnels and animals and whatnot once you have it. But right now, just for testing, I'm going to deactivate it. All right, I'm also setting subregion density to 5, which to actually create huge veins. If I actually understand this correctly, the smaller the numbers are, the bigger the veins get. I actually had good experiences with 5 on my last map, so I'm going with 5. All right, let's start the server. The map has been finished by now. As you can see, here is the little window that popped up. Unfortunately, I had to pause the recording because I didn't know how long it would take, but it only took a couple of seconds, so next time I'm going to show it to you in real time. Let's check out the map. And what do we see? No trees. Nice. Oh, but chests. And I want to get rid of those too, because by now I thought about how we can make it work. Because when we're on the moon, there shouldn't be any trees, any animals, but also no chests, because everything we need we will bring with us. And everything else that we can't bring, we have to produce. And chests falling from the sky, as they do in the standard game, just won't do. So let's change that next. So this was actually a nice example. Not every script change actually can be tested by just restarting the server. Sometimes you have to recalculate the entire map. So if you're changing scripts and you're wondering why it doesn't work, just try to recalculate the map. Okay, but I'm going to go back into the tree script one more time to actually check out the changes that I made. Yeah, no, everything's all right here. Okay. The chests. They have a separate folder called treasure. And up here we can see the chest count. It's 25. That means yes, there are 25 chests on the island. Setting this to 0 should do the trick here. Actually, on my last map, Bora Bora, I only generated a single treasure chest, because then it really is a treasure chest, because it's so rare and it takes ages to find it if you're actually looking for it. But if you find it like once in 2 hours of gameplay, it kind of feels like finding a treasure, and not just... With 25, you can run around the island and pick up like a half a dozen in a couple of minutes. It doesn't really feel any special. All right. So now let's create the map. I'm going to use Google Image Search, and I'm going to try to find a map of the moon. This looks nice. Now we need a nice top-down view. That's not right. Nope. I would actually use the moon landing site, but I don't think they landed the lunar lander in a section of the moon where there wasn't that much rough terrain. So I'm not quite sure if this would be interesting enough from a gameplay point of view. But this looks interesting. There's not so much. This maybe too. This looks interesting. Using real pictures as a template for your own map has the benefit that you don't have to draw it yourself. I can't really draw, I'm really bad at this. So, but using a real map actually makes things a lot easier. Also, you can then claim that it is modeled after a real piece of land. Oops. That's not what I wanted. Unfortunately, I started this accidentally. No, that doesn't look too good. I don't know what to make of that. This is a distorted view. Apparently, this is a texture of of a sphere. Useless for us. Maybe this? No. It should be a little bit... We don't need insanely high resolutions, but it would be nice to have at least 1024 by 768. The height map itself that we're going to create from this will have a resolution of 512 by 512, so we don't really need that high of a resolution, but at least something that is bigger. What on earth? Okay. This looks interesting. And maybe this? This one maybe too. I'm gonna keep it for now. This is the same distortion. Quite useless. This looks nice. This looks nice too, but it's not really a top-down view, so... Still... But I think it would translate really badly into the map, all the tiny splashes here. Or I could remove those, so that wouldn't be much of a problem. But the shadows will pose a problem. That's not what I want. I want a map without shadows, because this will actually have an impact on the map generation. So I guess this is the best picture I could come up with by now. I don't want to bore you with more pictures, so I'm going to use this one. It also has a nice resolution. 1018 by 1024, which is roughly 4 times the resolution of the height map that we are going to generate with it. Okay. Be gone. Now we need Photoshop and my trusty Paint Shop Pro. And let's check out the map. So this is these are the files that are being used to generate a map. This is the height map. A height map is basically an image that contains the shape of the island, and the colors of the pixels correspond with the height of the surface that you can see. In this case, it means the darker it gets, the lower the height is, and the brighter it gets, the higher it is. So this means that the pitch black parts are actually the lowest parts on the map. This is where the water resides, and that the extremely white ones are actually mountains. So we're going to use this one, and up here you can see the specification for the image. It is a grayscale image using 32 bits of color information, and that is the problem that many of you had, not being able to open this picture, me included, by the way. There are no tools that seem to support this kind of format, but the game requires it, so, well, Photoshop and the NVIDIA texture tools actually do the job. So first of all, I'm going to import our new picture into Photoshop, Paint Shop, and then I'm going to resize it. So now it is 512 by 514, which is a tad too big, so I'm cutting 2 pixels off here. So right now it's 512 by 512, which is exactly what we need. Next thing we do is turn this into a grayscale image, which apparently it already seems to be. That can only make things easier. Yeah. The question is, yeah, no, so this is the map that we're going to generate. Right now we need to set the colors for it. I'm not quite sure. Maybe I can even use it to actually render a map and see what actually comes up. Actually, I could do that because I can see the crater here has some brighter parts around the rim, which means it will be higher within the game, and even this is getting brighter and brighter here. You can see that, which will generate a nice hill. And yeah, I think I'm just going to run it through the game and see what comes out and what I need to mod. As last time, use the original height map and just copy and paste your stuff in here. That is important because then you will retain the color format. If you do not use the exact same color format, the game will not complain. It will calculate a new map until doomsday. It will not stop. I had that happen to me. It is not nice. So you need to double check that this is actually still the format. We're going to save this. Yeah, I'm just going to override it. I don't need this map anymore. Even if it doesn't work, I don't care for it. This time we have to change the format here to, I think, 32F R 32 bits per pixel floating point. So don't use the RGB one we used last time with the 8-bit. Use this one, this will work. Okay. While we're at it, we can also check out the other DDS files that are used to create the map. We have region noise, which is black. I'm not quite sure what it does. Yeah, I don't know. Just leave it at that. I never had a problem with it. Although at one point in time I'm probably going to experiment with it. This is a sediment map which looks kind of like the same island we saw before. It contains information of how thick the soil is going to be. So I think if I'm turning it all black, no, I'm going to replace it with this one, just so that it matches the overlay. So let's see what happens. It also uses a 32-bit grayscale image. And then we have the water map. This is a map that actually contains information where the water will be and how thick it will be. If you screw the water map up, then your final map will look all funky with water flowing up hills and having dents in it and everything. So on the moon there is no water, but just I want to give a general explanation. The dark parts are where there's basically no water, and the brighter it gets, this is where you have water, and the brighter the whole thing is, the thicker the whole water will be. On the sides you can see the most white. There's a river flowing through the map and little ponds on the side. Yeah, you probably have played the map, so you know what it looks like and you will recognize the shapes. Yeah, that's basically it. I wouldn't recommend creating the map manually. There are other tools for that, but this is something that we get into later. Since there is no water on the moon, we have to get rid of everything. So I'm trying to make it all black. Too bad that I suck so bad at Photoshop that I cannot even turn the picture black, but copy and paste from PaintShop Pro helps loads there. Quickly being saved, it uses the same format as all the other maps, grayscale 32 bits, so this is all that you need to know. And then we're done with that. Now all we have to do is delete the old map. It was about 7 megabytes. Compare that to the 29 megabytes of the original map. That's what not using tunnels and NPCs can do for you. Alright, the server is finished by now. Took a while longer than last time. And I'm excited to see what happened. Ooh. Wow. This looks unplayable. Oh, look at this. Despite a view range of 1200. Yeah. This is unusable. As you can see, there's a lot of complexity in the map, which is caused by the complexity of the original picture that we used as a height map. So this means we have to change the height map some more. But just from looking at it, I can actually get a pretty nice idea of how the map will look like once I smooth everything out. So I think it's gonna look nice. But what on earth is all the white stuff here? Sand. Wow. Never seen sand stacked that high. And we still have water here. That's not supposed to be here. All right. I think we're going to deal with this later on. For now, I'm going to say, let's keep it at this, and check out the next video when I will smooth out the map, get rid of the final water, and yeah, have a good one.